Watch me live day trade an entire day so that way you can see A, how many day trades I win, B, how many day trades I actually lose, but C, more importantly, the understanding of how exactly I'm doing everything step by step by step. So for this to happen, and for it to happen much faster, right? I'm doing this on a Sunday, so the markets are closed. So essentially, I'm going to use what's called on demand. So once you go to on demand up here, you can basically go to any time in the past, 8+ years, and actually day trade it live minute by minute, hour by hour, etc. by etc. So for me to do that, I'm going to first click this off and go to on this random.org basically date here, so you know I'm not cheating you and already seen the date or something, right? So this is going to spit out a random date between January 1st, 2024 and October 31st, 2024, because today is November 17th and I'll remember all past 17 days, so that will not be fair for sure. So let's go ahead and get our first date. So it's going to be July 9th, 2024. So July 9th, let's go ahead and go back. Go to on demand over here. And then we'll go to July, what did I say, 9th? Already messing it up. July 9th, 2024. There we go. And so we'll change this to obviously today. Pull this out. And okay, so the way my little view is, if you're not familiar with my strategy, FY, is that we only trade SPY specifically, same day expiration contracts, etc. So down here is the 5-minute chart for July 9th. This is from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. CST. I only trade after 9:30 a.m. CST, so that way it gives me some understanding of where the heck the market currently is at that specific point in time. It gives me some market context and things like that, and it gives me realistically more. Let me get this. Gives me some time to actually draw zones. So this is an interesting one here because right off the bat, it's generally this would have been the major demand zone, but you can see it's already kind of pushing down. Maybe it wants to come back up at the moment. So for the time being, what I will go ahead and draw is the major supply zone at the very top up here, while that's trying to figure out what the heck it wants to do. So we'll go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do this. So this is going to be the line up there, minus 10 cents. So it's going to be 556.69 minus 10 cents. So it'll go to 59 right there. Edit the properties to change this guy to be red. So HSV 60, too high. And there we go. Okay, so we got a major supply zone. This would be, again, the major demand zone, but again, it's already forming much, much, much further down. So I'm not going to draw this right now. I need this to basically, as an example, maybe end somewhere down here and then start pulling back. Then I can draw that major demand zone essentially. So conceptually, we need a true bottom over here for it to go back up, for us to finish that. And also, again, from a play perspective, if something comes up, as an example, to tap this and then starts coming downward basically, then we potentially may have an option put. So we can make money when it goes to the downside, and we can also make money when it potentially goes back to the upside. But let's go ahead and jump ahead a couple minutes. So the nice thing about on demand with this platform is that we have a couple buttons up here. We can step forward. There's a pause button, of course, play because it's playing it minute by minute on the 1-minute candles up here. And there's a fast forward 3x button here. So if we click step forward, it should jump ahead about, 15 minutes or so. And so with it doing that, pretty quickly already did a couple things. So A, it already came back up to tap this area, so we may potentially have a play, may not potentially have a play, but we need it to perfectly, let me zoom in for you, we need it to perfectly come up, tap this area for a zone candle, reversal, confirmation, and an entry. If it does that, great. If it doesn't do that, do not want to take the play. Have some faith that it may do that because it seems like it's kind of rangy up here, so it's like there's a lot in the way. So we'll see if it's potentially going to do that or not, but we can also go ahead and draw our major demand zone over here at this bottom spot at 1, so plus 10 cents, going to be an interesting one. There we go. So kind of tight, kind of rangy again, like I mentioned. So let's check this out and see how it goes. So let's maximize the sell here. And so again, what we would want is potentially for this to happen for the zone candle, a reversal candle potentially to come back down, confirmation candle to be here, ideally as a best case scenario, and then entry boom here, and then it would potentially go to fall back down. And with how kind of tight this is, I would prefer for it to be hypothetically an entry here, kind of in, you know, this spot here as an example, and then we potentially would sell down here if possible for a take profit, which would be a really good risk to reward ratio from here to here, of just risking that to all the way down here. But again, kind of getting ahead of ourselves, it looks like it wants to visually push back upward to the upside. So we'll see what exactly it really wants to do in this little spot here. So I'm not going to skip ahead 15 minutes because I do want to potentially get the entry right. But I'm going to fast forward 3x speed just in case so we can see how the candles form. So we got a zone candle, we got a reversal candle. No confirmation candle. Confirmation candle needs to be below the, ignore that. Hate that it does that. It's the annoying parts of using on demand. Let's pull this back downward. Pull that up there. Let me see. Fix the stupid candle. Correct the bar. Let's see. Remove this bar. There we go. That's fine. Very weird bar. Remove this bar. Remove this bar. There we go. Okay. Anyway, so while we had to fix that little error there, basically, it looks like there was no confirmation candle as mentioned, so nothing fell down lower. It just basically still went upward higher. So we have another two things that could potentially happen. Let me go ahead and pause it. It could either come back down to tap it on this specific spot and then bounce back upward for an option call to the upside if it does that, or B, since I'm still feeling like it's kind of rangy, right? It still looks like it's ranging for the most part. It could break down to the bottom and fall downward. And you may be thinking, well, it looks like you're just trying to make a play out of something. Well, I kind of am, realistically. I mean, there's only two things the dang thing can do, right? It can either go up or it even can go down. That's the only thing it can do. And then it's just a matter of riding the wave of whichever one it's doing. So let's continue to play this out and see what the heck it's going to do next. So it did come down officially to here, but it doesn't necessarily want to come all the way down for actual candle. So it looks like it might just be running off without us. FY, I didn't really give context to that, but that little giant green weird candle was a fake candle. It's not a real candle. When you do practice on demand, it's called a misprint. That sometimes that just happens. So it is what it is. And again, this is me basically doing it live. So issues are gonna happen. It is what it is. Can't prevent it. Try not to do any editing. Trying to constantly talk with it as well, so you know that as well. So just comes with part of the territory. So it's still forming. Let's go ahead and jump ahead. Not jump ahead, but fast forward 3x. So we have some upward momentum with this, right? But again, in my head, like from this perspective, if I'm just looking at it, right? If you, to me, in my head, I have to ask myself, what is this currently doing? Is this going on an uptrend at the moment? Not really. Like visually, it's still up, down, up for a lower high, then down for a lower low, then it up for a higher high. Sure, but that doesn't necessarily still mean that hey, it's in an uptrend and it may go for sure a call. Hence why this is happening. So I'm actually proud by this. Let's go ahead and slow this down. So pause it. Oh, it's actually doing something interesting. Okay, so a couple things. It looks like it might be choppy, but we are here at the moment. So again, as mentioned, the market can only legitimately do two things, which is either A, bounce back upward in this little spot, or B, bounce back downward for here. So I'm for sure definitely believe that there more than likely will be a play here, depending on how it looks. But I do not want to enter unless there is a zone candle on this 1 minute chart, reversal candle, confirmation, and then an entry. Then I'll enter. If it's a little choppy, that's okay. I'll figure it out, but I'll definitely enter it. So let's let this play out. I'll delete those things there. But see, like this is the thought process of me thinking things out with this. Because when I usually do my strategies, always the same thing. Like once you see the charts done, I'm like, hey, look, it came up, hit it, zone reversal confirmation entry, boom, enter the play. But all this is still thought out each step along the way, piece by piece, step by step. And this is not 3x speed, by the way, it's normal speed. Um, so you're just kind of waiting for it. And this is one of the reasons I don't take breakouts, right? Breakouts can work, but I mean, from a breakout perspective, this basically quote unquote failed. And also, if you do take the breakout, where the heck are you selling? I'm not going to get into that, but where are you selling? Then you have to go to a different day, to a different high, and it's annoying. You don't want to have to do that. So we potentially have a zone candle. We potentially may have a reversal candle here. And the only way we'd have a potential entry is if there's a confirmation above it, confirming the direction's higher, and then an entry above it, confirming that direction's also higher. So it's still forming on this 1 minute chart at the moment. So zone candle reversal. But it could still go either way, whether it be boom upward or boom downward. We still don't know where this is going, but we're waiting almost like a sniper for the specific entry that gives us clear direction that there's an entry, essentially. So letting it play out piece by piece by piece, and we'll see where this is going to go. Letting this one go out. It seems like it wants to kind of go upward, so we'll see. We've got a confirmation candle forming that looks like it might be above it. Right here. Oh, looks like it might turn red. We got maybe a confirmation. We would need this confirmation form and then potentially entry right here or right over here somewhere. So it's visually going upward. Confirmation's failing, so that's fine. And FY, you may be thinking, especially for you, if you're new to trading, etc., they're like, oh, it's proof that it's not working, etc., etc. This is a good thing. I don't want to always be in a trade. This is my way to have a built-in risk management-based strategy to say that the strategy forces me to not enter as many trades as possible so that I save as much money as possible, because the best way to make money is realistically to enter only the highest quality trades, which you've heard me say before, I'm sure, but do the least amount of trades, and in the time when you do those trades, add the most amount of capital possible because you're so sure that those are going to work. So we have a zone candle, reversal candle. We may have a confirmation candle if 51% of this candle's out of it. Looks like it might be forming downward now. I'm a little more put biased now because, again, I do like this being sideways. Getting quiet because I'm just really analyzing it before we do anything. And I guess I will go ahead and do this part of it too. So potentially choose an option for a put. Go with that one. Have that just set up and ready to go. Me maximize sell again and go back for you all. So we have zone candle reversal. Not a true confirmation. We need the confirmation outside of the zone for sure. Showing downward direction. Giving us a little bit. Doesn't count as a confirmation because it's not lower. Well, sorry, excuse me. It is lower visually, but I need that candle to really, 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 really be out of the zone for sure. So if this one forms below this candle, which it looks like it will be, then it can be our confirmation candle. And by the way, this is a great example. It does not even matter if the dang thing's green. I don't care about color. Color means nothing. Like realistically, it's as long as it's visually going downward, then that's fine. And it looks like it might be. So we might have a potential play here. Let's see. How much would that be? It's 8K. Oh, that's fine. Doesn't matter. So it's forming still in the green here. Still lower than this candle here. If we get an entry right here in this spot, if the candle forms right here on the next candle, then we definitely have an entry point that I'd be happy to enter at. It's forming above it. Not good so far. So may potentially have no play. Ooh, it has a lot of friction up there, actually, because this wick is here, this wick is there. Really can't push above it. Looks like we might be entering. There it is. Need the auto send on. Okay, cool. So it formed down there, which again, visually, let's go ahead and zoom back in. I liked that when it formed below, and it's kind of going against us. But I like this play personally, even though it's choppy. Because if it's choppy, just play it choppy. That's perfectly fine. Because visually it's going down. Color doesn't matter. Kind of a weird looking play. It tried to bounce off going upward. It really couldn't go upward further. Um, which showed proof that there's a lot of kind of friction up here. Oh, look, it's working. Great. It's working pretty well. Okay, cool. So there was a lot of friction up there. I entered a play for, I think it was like $8,600 or so with 100 contracts, same day expiration contracts. And it's forming well. I have personally a take profit down there. The only other take profit is here. Realistically, yep. So this spot would be take profit 1. I'm going to be a little greedy on this one because I do believe more than likely it's probably going to push down to this. Easily could reject it. It's fine. But look at this already. If we did sell, we'd be up $2,400. Not a bad profit. 2,800, 2,600 or so. So good money for sure. But with us ranging like this, I like the fact of me still holding it. And so FY, since we're doing fine on this kind of profitability wise, and I'll skip ahead soon so we'll see where it goes. My stop loss for a loss is right here. Boom, at the top of this. My take profit in this scenario is right here. And again, going back down to 2,800. So definitely probably should sell at CP1, but it's up to you. Either you can sell at take profit 1, you can scale out, etc. Really your call. So we have a good amount of wiggle room, guys. Let's go ahead and over here. So you can see again, if I zoom out, pull this up, do it like that. So we have our stop loss up there. We entered here. So we're basically, quote unquote, risking, I think I entered there, this much to earn. That one would have been fine. Could have been take profit 1 for you, that much, or your take profit 2, which I'm going for, which is this much. And again, visually, I like that I'm going towards this one because it's a rangy type of day anyway, so it's fine. So I'm going to jump ahead the 15 minutes with the step forward button, and we can see where this thing is. All right, so if we jumped ahead, it's still going down, right? This is not a candle. This was my my thing here. So we're visually still moving down over here. So we're still up. Um, and it looks like it's going down to where our take profit's going to be. It's still pre-buffering up here. And more than likely, I mean, unless something is just randomly in the way, it's going to hit our area because it's already broken below take profit 1. It pulled back against us, essentially. We were never in any trouble, even if you were staring at the chart, because at the highest point of where this wick is literally where our entry point was, right there. So we entered here, came down for a couple minutes, came back around over here, hit this little spot back where it basically was, and it's just basically started falling ever since then. And it's still going down. And so, only thing with on-demand FY is that the profitability thing, this little active trader, is not actively, distinctly really show you the true profits, right? Because clearly we were up 2,600 over here, and then even when it's lowest point, it was still 2,600 over there. So then, yeah, it is what it is. So let's kind of fast forward 3x speed to see where this thing goes next. So far, no friction at all. And I got another little piece here. The only way I would really know how this is going is that I typically would set an alarm. I can't do that on demand, but I would set an alarm right here by right clicking. And if I was doing real live money, there's a spot that says set an alarm. So your phone would go off. Boom. You come back, take the trade, exit the trade, and etc. And boom, my alarm would have went off. And you see, like literally the price didn't move, even though of course the price is moving. So if I had to guess with actual real money, this thing probably went up way more to 3,000, 4,000 or so, give or take. But let's just sell it for whatever that was supposed to be. And you can see you made the profit from here to here. So good trade. This thing's still moving. It's funny. But good trade. It's literally just based off of market context and you reading the charts. And so, same concept, right? It came down, hit this major demand zone. So the next piece is, can it jump off of the major demand zone now? Because we need a zone candle, reversal candle, confirmation candle, and an entry candle. For me, let me think about this for a second. Oh, was it going fast? Oh, it's regular speed. Okay. For me, FY, if I just took that trade from here to here, and it was real money. Oh, now it moved a little bit, but it was real money. I did make $2, $3, $4,000, whatever the number is, off of $8,000. I wouldn't have traded anymore. We'd done just one trade. I mean, I don't want to keep doing a whole bunch of trades. Realistically, I would imagine most of y'all don't either. It's much easier to be successful at one and saying no to five than it is being successful with five and only saying no to one. It's a numbers game, but not the way most people think.
If you're looking to become a consistently profitable day trader that makes $10,000 per month, then go ahead and visit mkuniversity.com/info to get started. We provide one-on-one coaching for 2 months, and that way we actually hold your hand and walk you to becoming successful with our specific day trading strategy, which is trading one strategy with one ticker and day trading once per day so you can be successful long term and actually take care of your family. And it doesn't matter where you are, by the way. If you're new to trading or you're an experienced trader already, but you're still just not consistently profitable as a whole, we'll teach you everything from A to Z from the ground up so you can be consistent, so you can be profitable, and more important, you can do the things you want to do, when you want to do them, how you want to do them, and not have to be trading so much. Because the goal when it comes to trading is to get your life back and to get your finances in order so you can do everything you want to do. And by the way, we already have 1,003 video testimonials from people that are already successful using this strategy that you've been learning in this video. So if you want to be the next person, you want to be number 1,004, then go ahead and click the link in the description where it says apply for coaching, and you can go ahead and get started. And now back to the video.
You know, it's about finding that quality game. So if we were looking for a call because maybe we missed this, we would need a bounce off of this as a zone candle, reversal, confirmation, and entry for a potential play. And this up here is not a, if you've seen the other videos, a quote unquote A plus trade, but as I mentioned in some other videos, I believe somewhere, or maybe to someone else specifically, an A plus trade is passing, of course. That's the best quality trade you can see. But you have to keep in mind, a B is also passing. So is a C. And realistically, depending on what you're going for, a D is also passing as well sometimes. It's just visually, can you specifically see it? Because I'm sure there's doctors that graduate their school to be a doctor or heart surgeon, and they don't get all A's, they get a B, but they still graduate, they're still a doctor, still making a whole bunch of money. It doesn't matter. Don't get so caught up in the details of how even defined the strategy is that you're so overly defined that you don't even take plays like this because visually it's going down. Always remember the strategy is just visually, where is the chart going? Is it going up or is it going down from a continuation perspective? And this continuation wise, even from up here to down here on the 1 minute chart, was showing it was going downward. You know? So if that's realistically the case, you take the play. If you can see it based off of the strategy and the metrics that you show that you which trades you're good with. If you can't see it and you can't see this one, that's fine. Don't take the trade. You know? That's what I would say. And couple things, like even with this thing that's going on right here. This is a zone candle, reversal candle, and this can basically be a confirmation candle from the look of it because it's more than 51% out of the zone. Now, the problem with this thing is the only way for, not really, the only way really for this to be a good, not even a good trade, it really can't be a good trade. If the entry candle forms here, then your stop loss is all the way down here, and your take profit is right here. I would never take this trade, even if it does work out, because our risk to reward, what we want to reward wise is that, but we were willing to risk. How much is that? This plus that plus this. We're willing to risk. What is that? 3.2 $3 to make $1 as this hypothetical. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. This one was reversed, right? We were willing to risk $1 to make What is that? 1, 2, 3 plus $4, right? That wouldn't make any sense at all. And that's because if you remember, this entry candle is pretty close to the zone from an entry perspective. This entry candle is all the way pretty far away from where the zone is. And again, ignore this wick. It's a fake wick, similar to the stupid thing that happened over there. Um, but yeah, this is, and it might continue up. It might even run up to the thing. But to me, the risk outweighs the gain. So to me, that's terrifying. I would never take this trade. And let's just jump ahead and see, do I have egg on my face or not? Because it might have worked. Nope, it didn't. Oh, great. It didn't at all, actually. Okay. So we jump ahead. Check this out. This is where we were, right? I think somewhere in this little spot here. It went up, hit this exact little take profit area that we defined earlier, hit it, reversed back downward, and it failed. Pretty badly, actually. And there was no trade because of that. So that's again where this is two examples of two trades potentially that one could have worked very well, even if you sold at TP1 or TP2, or this trade here, which I guess could work if you really scalped it quickly and bought it here and sold it there. But realistically, no matter how you look at it, it's definitely a loss because the risk is too high. It's too quick of a trade, and so many other factors. Like it doesn't run at all. It's way, 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 way too risky. And the strategy is defined in a way, again, that you don't take these types of trades. So let's zoom out. So overall, I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. I'm not going to go, let's just jump ahead to look at the entire rest of the day and see realistically what did it do. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. So it had made a new low over here, so we would have moved this zone, of course, down to the bottom of this, right? This guy would have been there. And then this was a new high at the time. Doesn't look like there may have been any trades after that, actually. Let's check it out, though. So if this is the new hive zone right over here, I'll fix it right there. That piece here, then it went up, broke horribly, and then broke again horribly back downward. Let's see what it did actually. So a couple things. One, there was a beautiful trade afterwards that we didn't take, but you could have taken on this 1-minute chart. Let's pull this out. So the zone was formed here, formed in this little spot, came down, tapped it nicely, zone reversal confirmation, entry, boom, fell down. Very, very nice trade. This one would have been for sure something either I would have taken if I didn't take the one that we already took over there that was kind of ugly and choppy. It was much cleaner, right? I know you, whoops, I know you see that. I can't see it actually if I do it that way. But I know you can see that, right? The zone formed over here, fell down. For context, if we go back again, 1-minute chart, 5-minute, okay. So this, where the circle is, specifically, is where the zone formed. And after that, anything after that, if it comes back down and then back up to tap it, that's where the confirmation candles are. So if you go to the 1-minute chart, right, this is where that circle was. It came down out of the zone, came back up nicely, boom, zone candle, reversal candle, confirmation candle, entry candle right here. Exactly the smallest amount of where it was over here, right, from the other trade. Very small piece that we're risking. And then beautifully ran down for another put to the downside, essentially. And again, it ran all the way back down. What is this? Actually, what's that red piece there? Let's zoom out. So it's where our entry was. It ran down to that original take profit one that we had identified earlier, and then some actually. And then so we had the new major demand zone down here. Drew it over. Looks like it kind of broke it and bounced back up. Let's see how it looked. Came down. Kind of works. Zone candle reversal, confirmation candle, more than 51% out of it. Entry, boom, came down, went up, and it worked. And then it didn't go up to hit VWAP as a take profit, but realistically, it went sideways, went down, went sideways, went down for a long time from 1235 to 1250. There's no reason in heck you should be on a trade for 20 minutes. So you would have sold definitely up here for profit, et cetera, and you would have been fine. So this was actually a pretty good day for the strategy. I actually like this day as a whole. And last closing thoughts on this. No matter which trade you would have taken, it looks like only one was a losing trade if you didn't look at, where it was bouncing off of. There were 3 winning trades here, and that's more than enough because you only need one of them as a whole. But as a closing thought again, if this is a day that you took one trade or maybe two trades and they were both successful, no matter what, and the next day, let's just say the 10th of July happened and there was not a single trade that day, that doesn't mean you're a failure of a trader. That just means the strategy worked to also give you money on the 9th, but protect you from losing money on the 10th. So that's perfectly fine. You have to remember trading is not about every single day winning the actual what war as a whole. It's winning the battle day by day by day by day by day. And the best way you can win the war as a whole is basically one of the ways that I trade, which is trade as little as possible, scale up as quickly as possible to have more money in the actual trade per trade, and that way you can take very, very, very few trades. Because last week, was it last week? Yeah, last week I made $40,000. And that's when I proposed the question to a lot of you all that said, if you made $40,000 in a single month, would you really give a damn to keep trading for that rest of that month? Probably not. Doesn't matter at that point. You made your, and like you're like, oh no, I want to run it up and get $1 billion. You don't care at a certain point if you can just do that and make 40K. Because once you are able to pay your expenses, you get all your debt paid off after you calculate how much debt you actually have, because that's just has to be a number. You need to know that number. But once you get the debt number off, whatever that would be, any medical debt as well, and you have X amount of savings saved up that makes you feel comfortable from a nest egg perspective, and also you do whatever the traveling you want to do. For most people, if I'm being real, that's less than $100,000. So if that's less than $100,000, and you just have the bigger aspiration of maybe paying your house if you want to do that, that's really the big rock, which we'll talk about maybe in a different video. You don't really need that much dang money for you to quit your job and actually do this for a living. You just need to make more than likely $5,000 to $10,000 a month with trading, and that could be a few of these trades. Because if one of those trades was me selling at Take Profit One, what's $2,000, and you need, we'll just say 8,000, 8,000 in a month, then it means you only need 4 trades to make 8K. So that technically means if there's 20, was it 22? 22 trading days in an entire month, you only need to trade on 4. So the final question is, can you be right about the direction for 4 days for less than 10 minutes each? If you can do that, you don't have to work another job in your entire life.